Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our first ever look at Play Booster Box sales data, these of Karlov Manor, off of TCG Player up to the release day of the product. And for this one, that would be February 9th, 2024. So through the whole pre-release period and through release day on TCG Player, it sold a total of 2,684 boxes at a total of $353,000 for an average price of $131 per box, not nearly close to that small card store break-even price for the new higher price Play Booster boxes, but very close to that dump price that the distributor came in here on TCG Player and sold a ton of boxes at $129.99 each in the pre-release period. So that kind of distorts our data because we have to ask ourselves, what do we think would have happened overall had that seller not come in and dumped so many boxes at essentially a price that most card stores can't touch? Now, we're going to plot up here old set box data for previous standard expansions. And yes, it's just set box. It's not set plus draft boxes of those expansions. But we can kind of squint and pretend and make an adjustment in our mind. And remember, I had showed last time that the Commander Masters set box and Commander Masters draft box sales data, I had recorded both of those in the summer of 2023 when they first released, and the differential in sales between them was about 5-1 that set boxes outsold draft boxes, even though those set boxes were, high 300s, mid 300s? I remember they were some atrocious price. I don't remember the exact price. But even then, the set boxes outsold the draft boxes by about 5-1. So, we can come in here and we can say, well, these set box sales data that we have for these legacy standard products, or I guess I should say these old standard products, maybe we increase them by about 15-16%. And that's around where we would think the equivalent Play Booster data would have been had they existed in a timeline with only Play Boosters and not Draft and Set Boosters at the same time. So with that in mind, Lost Caverns of Ixalan looks okay compared to Murders of Karlov Manor. You could imagine that those draft boxes of Lost Caverns of Ixalan would probably have brought that red line right up to about where this blue line is. So it looks really good, and it looks good in the other direction too, that Murders at Karlov Manor is high enough that it's probably taking up the slack for both of those now deprecated box types, set and draft. And we'll go ahead and add Wilds of Eldraine, and we'll start to see that set box sales clumping that we've been looking at for about the last year and a half. It's been quite a while there. We have March of the Machine on top of it. Of course, Phyrexia hit it out of the park, way above there with that green line. And then we'll go back one more to Brothers War, and you see it's just a hair below the rest, but still in family. So what this looks like to me is that the Play Boosters were accepted well enough. And that was the big thing that I was curious to see was, will the previous buyers of set and draft boxes accept the Play Boosters? Because if you previously were a draft box buyer, well, now you were going to pay a huge greater amount of money in order to get much richer packs. And if you were a set box buyer, you were only going to pay merely a larger amount of money, not a huger amount of money, just a larger amount of money over your old set boxes. You'd get a little bit richer packs, but you would also get 36 of them instead of 30. And so the big thing for me was to see, will those buyers transition over to Play boxes and accept the changes that have been made? Most importantly, the large change in price. And they have. It looks like, at least from this expansion through release day, which is good to see, because if the market had utterly rejected Play Boosters their first time out of the gate, man, we would have been in for some rough times in 2024. But this looks okay. And again, the only thing to possibly quarrel over between ourselves is how much this big dump of boxes during the pre-release period changed things. Whether the market would have made up those cumulative sales without that or not, we'll have more standard sets soon enough to tell. So let me know what you think. I have some other videos I'm putting out today. Leave any questions you have down below. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.